Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here. This week and this video is week 2 of our wedding workflow series. Last week, I talked to you guys about how I book my clients. So taking a potential inquiry and making them into a booked bride, how I get the contracts, how I send my proposals, all of that. This week, we're gonna be talking about preparing for the wedding day and how I prepare and educate my clients so that I can do the best work possible. Before I dive in, I just wanna quickly point out to you guys that I've actually compiled a free wedding workflow guide that you guys can download that's going to contain everything from last week, today's lesson, and future lessons. So pause this video, go down to the information section and grab your free guide so that you can follow along before we dive in today. So workflows are all about me doing my best possible work, right? So not having to type the same emails 5 times because you have a workflow, you have your templates. It's going to not only give your clients an elevated experience, but also save you a lot of time. So that's why they're so important. And in order for me to do my best work on a wedding day, I need to educate my client as to what I need from them. So the first step of educating my clients before their wedding day is going to be a 6-week questionnaire. In this questionnaire, I'm trying to get to know a few things. I want to know their timeline and hopefully have enough time to be able to influence it if there's not enough time for things that I need. So the questionnaire is good for 2 reasons. Number 1, I get to get all this information and I feel like I'm more equipped when I'm walking into the wedding day, but I'm also able to tell them what I need in terms of how long certain photographs take or what kind of light is best for what kind of photos. So it's my turn to educate them and also get the information back. So when I send the questionnaire, I make sure that there's enough time that when they return it to me, I'm able to make suggestions to change the timeline. So in addition to learning about the timeline, I also get to see what vendors I'm working with on the wedding day, and I'm able to get a formal shot list. So the only shot list I require from my clients is their family formal list. And we do this so that we can make it as efficient and quick as possible to get all of those family formals in and that we don't forget anyone. Another part of my pre-wedding day workflow is to ask for a copy of the invitation before the wedding day. Now, there are so many cool benefits to this because I get to see their colors and their fonts and their paper goods all up close. So it helps me know what to bring as far as styling aids and just what the feel of the day will be like. I can also tell if I have the same information, the same times and the addresses that the guests have. So that's really important for me to know what time the guests are being told to get there and for cocktail hour and what information they have as well, just to make sure everything aligns. But also it allows me to bring that copy of the invitation along and immediately start photographing it when I get to the bridal suite. So inevitably on a wedding day, it's very hectic. There's so much to remember as far as details, and it saves me time and makes me more efficient if I'm able to bring some of those details for my brides and grooms. So I can still send off my assistant or ask the maid of honor to find those rings and the shoes and that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, I'm able to immediately start on the invitations. So it saves me a lot of time. Another thing that I do before every single wedding is, of course, prep my gear and prep myself. Now, this includes charging batteries and cleaning lenses, getting everything organized and set up so that I know my gear is in order and I can really just focus on being creative and sticking to the timeline. You can find actually a download of every single thing that I do to prepare myself and my gear and my staff for every wedding. So I'm gonna link that for you guys here, and there's actually a whole nother video about it. So if you wanna see that more in depth, you can find the download there, but you can also find it in the guide you downloaded. Be sure to grab the free wedding workflows guide. It's gonna be a PDF and it's gonna be below. You'll be able to see in a little more detail what I do and what I ask my brides specifically. All right, so the next step would be to actually photograph the wedding. And since I'm not in charge of the timeline, I'm not a wedding planner, I'm not gonna go through the entire wedding day. That would be a totally separate video. As far as workflow, we're going to talk about file management, how I pay my second shooters, and what I do to back up my images. That's gonna be next week. So be sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos, and let me know what are your wedding day workflows before the wedding day. How do you prepare your brides and grooms? What do you ask of them? And what are some things you wish you knew when you first started out? I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.